thing, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the program, you know? No, Sean, it's like I
Awesome.
said to the L to the A.
Woot
Yeah, man.
woot.
That's it.
I was saying that we're matching. I don't know. It's a yellow vibe.
Yeah,
We're
right?
good.
Yeah, man. It's only
Absolutely
right.
loving it. Right, indeed. So we're gonna kick things off, Sean. Of course, with your foundation. Where did you grow up, and how would you describe your childhood and the household that you grew up in?
Well, I grew up in Kingston, you know, grew up my early age in Jerusalem, and I went to Patrick City.
Mm-hmm. I think.
But,
I think. Okay, so I'm hearing you. Use your Zoom audio. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
okay, all right.
Awesome. Yes.
Yeah, so I grew up in Kingston. You know, I grew up. My mother used to visit my father on weekends. You know, grew up like any other young youth. You know what I mean? But then at the community with the neighbors, a whole vibe and a chill, and that's when we start finding out that we love music on a different level. You know, like myself now on Friday evening, go on my bed early so I could have wake up back for catch GT Taylor in the dance hall. You know, and we used to re-record my mother classics with some of GT Taylor's programs when he used to go in the dance hall and hear it on the radio. That was my first experience of a dance hall vibe, you know, and that's when I realized that I was really fascinated with this, and this is something that I want to do. And it just keep on following me as the years go by. So when I reached in high school now, I had a neighbor by the name of Arval. He was the first person in the entire community to have a computer with a CD burner. And they invited me over the most one day, and they couldn't get me to leave from that. You know, so I fell in love with the whole thing, and I started to burn CDs, and in no time I came up with an idea where I used the cassette player, connected to the computer. And I was one of the first few in Kingston to convert cassette to CDs. And that's when it got really crazy right there. Everybody started reach out to me. Popular sound systems. You know, everybody come at school. Come at my school.
How old were you? How old were you when you got this idea, this budding entrepreneur now, doing a thing, doing a little business?
I was about 14 years old at that time. Yeah. We start get the songs then when nobody have till actual producer, sound man, a link with the mixtape. So we we're the official distributor at the time, you know. So we used to go half a tree and look on the vendors, you know, who sell CD and like, yo, that's a bootleg. That's not real. You know, so we got really in depth from an early age, and it propelled me to start a sound system with my friend Arval. You know, we started a sound system called Murder Mafia, and then we started to do our own mixtapes, you know, sell our own CDs. And one day doing a mix CD where my career started, you know, and it just keep from there.
So in all of this, was your mom supportive of young Sean with all these bright ideas and actually putting it into action? What was that vibe like with mommy?
Well, at that time now, I moved from living with my mother and I started to live with my stepmother. And my stepmother, education, all the way. That's her thing. So I do all of them something, she not take me serious. Because she say I forgot school, I have to do this. So I'm doing it, but I do it very discreetly. You know, and I left school and just start to whole heap of little boy fall up at the house, and I run go outside to do something and come back in, and you know, it starts spark our curiosity. So one day I was making a rhythm and had the headphone on, and she came in the room and like, so this is what you're doing. You know? And she realized that I was very devoted to it till after a while she started asked me, is there anything I need, you know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it never started like that. I got a job working at Autoways, and I left there and went back home. And when I went home, she was like, so what you gonna do? So I said, I'm going to do my thing in the house. She said, oh, serious, I was like, dedicated, like, me no sleep. I would visit as a producer. I remember the first producer that gave me a listening ear was Mr. G. And Mr. G can tell you, if you tell me no, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I come back with 3 more ready. And if you don't like them 3 rhythm, at 4 o'clock, I come back again with 5 more ready. You know, so she used to see all of that and I'm like, no, I really love this thing. Remember one day she asked, is there anything I need that would help me to propel what I'm doing, you know? And told her I needed a mixing board. You know, and it just got crazy from there.
Wow.
Big up my sister as well, Sandra, she gave me my first keyboard. Yeah.
That's really awesome. So here it is, like you're manifesting all these things because you went from, boy, how this is gonna happen to, actually doing it and developing the confidence and the courage and getting all the tools. But take us back to the link up with Mr. G and that in essence was a significant moment because you branched off from there. So take us back to that significant moment. Was it 2004, Reverse the Thing Rhythm?
All right. Well, linking up with Mr. G is way before that. Mr. G is actually my next door neighbor.
Oh, wow.
You know, and then in bus and move there. You know, so when my mom say, oh, the thing I go on and, every youth I come link me, and everybody I say, yeah, really them so good for true. So she said to me that she was gonna link Mr. G and let him hear what's going on. So one day came to visit his mother and she called him and said, that Shawn in the house I make whole heap of nice, I make rhythm. So I love if I could have give him a listening ear, and see if him on the right track. He told her I must come by the studio. And that's how we really connect musically. But me the thing say, Mr. Gio live next door, I gotta just go up there and my life change. Then another say, about 100 rhythm I play for Mr. G. We finally took one and when I look back at it, I'm glad, because in the process of being declined, it was helping me to master my craft. And when he decided, the rhythm that I gave him was the day when I was gonna give up and say, I'm not bother with this.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I can't bother with this. And remember going to that kind of months. I'm gonna focus on my education and just do that. So, on my way home, I see him vehicle at the gate. Like, I'm gonna do some music video or something. So I said, I don't want to see him, What I really want to get a man and the man are like, none of them stars, And I'm a friend too. And I'm deal with myself. And I pass them when I go in the house and a friend of his by the name of Grant, he says, so Shawn, oh, you just pass this, so what that? And I said, I'm there, man, I'm just in a right mood right now. And I said, come here, man. They might talk to me and might give me some words of encouragement. Somebody just take out the rhythm and say, Mr. G done him, let him hear the please. And I went in, I never think nothing of it. I feel like I get to see him respond like, boy, so that rhythm I could have changed a kick there. Or, went in and lay down on my bed and say, yo, I eat this, I don't do this. I focus on medication. I'm going to see Mr. G call me and say, yo, you're fine. I'm going to expand this today. Then I say, all right, that's the whole perspective, everything changed from there. Everything changed from there. And then he moved from making rhythms for him to end up becoming an engineer at the studio. And that's where I start to develop my credibility with the artists, and then a year after, I branched off and formed Shawn Nizzle Records.
That was 2006. But let's go back into Mr. G's studio and you know as an audio engineer in the studio. Take us back to that process and what were some of the things that you learned from Mr. G and then also from creating a rhythm, getting excited to know, working as an audio engineer. Did you understand in the moment that, you were honing your skills, it was preparing you for today, or did frustration seep in during that time?
Not really, because I'm a person like this. My mother upset today and tomorrow morning I want gone right back to where I'm supposed to be. So even in the process of sending him rhythms and him saying I like it, by the time I jump on the bus, I catch back myself and ready for send about 10 more. So I had that drive that was so consistent, you know what I mean? So even though there was a lot of obstacles, there was something within me keep me going, So working with Mr. Gino at the studio as an engineer, I was already introduced to recording songs because I used to cut dub plates in the house, for our sound system. So I already understand the whole program how to record a song and stuff like that. So working with Mr. G and big up the engineers, big up Piranha, who show me the shortcuts. So as I said, the techniques are very similar, just different shortcuts, and he showed me that, and in no time I catch on, and I'm like, no man, you make for this, brother,
Wow.
Let us keep on flowing, from there.
So, like a lot of persons or some people might have gotten comfortable, you are now around Mr. G or a studio engineer, you're getting to rub shoulders with the entertainers and meet a lot of persons just being around him. What was that drive inside of you that pushed you to say, look, you need to create your Shawn Nizzle Records, like create your own label? What pushed you to do that?
Well, I went to the studio one day and the studio locked down. They must say, yo, why can't pull the gate back? I say, yo, say, what equipment them now work on me. I'm bother this. I focus on my career as an artist. I say, there's no turning back for me, because I'm full invested right now. And that's when I found my own label. And just having good relationships with the artists that used to pass through that I used to record. Big up man like Galaxy P was one of the first artists to record for me when I started my own record label. Yeah man, so many of the artists that I used to work with while I was there, they came to my studio and they gave me support,
But it wasn't until 4 years later, after setting up your own label, that you found One Day Rhythm, which is, perhaps one of your most successful things to date.
It features 5 years after.
5 years after, okay. So take us back to this significant period that basically helped to cement your place in the entertainment industry as a top producer, finding the One Day Rhythm.
Well, before I got to the One Day Rhythm, the first rhythm I released under the Shawn Nizzle Records was Reverse Rhythm. And I got songs like Reverse the Thing by Beenie Man and Tony Mataran, Sit Down. Those songs were very popular in the dancehall space. Even to this day, the Tony Mataran song play every single night. And then from there, credibility started to grow. The name started to make a mark within the industry. But still, as a household name, I was nowhere near there as yet. So people up on the road, I pass them say, I'm not this about it. But within the industry space, people could identify and say, yeah, man, he made the rhythm there, he produced that. When I did Gully Creeper with Elephant Man, that's when it really started to cement. Where I find
that was really dope.
Thank you. And that's when a lot of notable, much more notable artists start to work with me. You know, and more producers wanted to collab. You know, and that just flow right into the one day. You know.
And before we get into the one day, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go for a quick break. We also have Cashpot coming up. So I know one day